first order of business this evening is our prayer led by Commissioner Huffine and our pledge led by Commissioner Carter.
Let us bow our heads. Dear Lord, we come before you today with thankfulness and humble hearts. You provide so many blessings to us every day, dear Lord. This evening, we ask for another blessing, the blessing of knowledge. As Jesus set the example for servant leaders, help us to follow in his path. As we make decisions that impact all the citizens of Washington County, help us to truly consider others first and look at their interests. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let's honor America. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have the roll call screen up. If you'll go ahead and indicate your presence.
It's not recognized this.
Just give us a touch. Oh.
All right, we have 12 present, 3 absent. A couple just running behind, but they should be a short one. We do have one present. Next item is for the agenda before you this evening. You have a motion. Motion made by Commissioner Fitzgerald, seconded by Commissioner Jones to approve the agenda. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the agenda, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The agenda is approved. This evening, our first and only item of business is Washington County's intent to exceed the certified tax neutral property tax rate. That is, the certified tax rate is defined by TCA 67-5-1701. It's $1.471 for $100 of assessed valuation. Washington County's Tennessee's proposed 25 budget, if adopted, would require a proposed levy of $1.71 per $100 of assessed valuation. Tonight, during our public hearing, we'll be taking public comments on moving that valuation. This is a special call meeting, so it kind of requires us to stay in the confines of items on the agenda. So reappraisal and budget and those type of things will be heard in a separate public hearing on the 20th. Reappraisal. So we will be talking tonight mainly about the assessed the $1.41 to the $1.71. Each person will have 3 minutes to make comments during the public hearing, public comment period. And our first speaker tonight is Freddie Gonzalez. Freddie, if you'll come forward to the podium, please, and give your address to the clerk.
I get an extra 10 seconds here.
I'm not going to start your time, Freddie. You can give your address to the clerk. How's that?
I'll wait a couple of minutes to hear my address. Freddie Gonzalez, 114 Highland Ridge Court, Johnson City. Thank you for hearing me out. Appreciate what y'all do. I know primarily what you do is good for this town. usually when I come forward, you're gonna have a couple of times shooting for negative type thing, something I'm against, not something I'm for. I'm not always against, sometimes I am for, but not tonight. Totally against this 30% increase. Tax. Oh,
Make sure to talk directly into that microphone there.
totally, there you go. Totally against this, 30% increase in tax rate, particularly after these, recent appraisals, I think. Gonna put some people in a bind that already aren't in a bind, and I would ask that you vote against it, totally against it, 30% increase. If you feel like you're pressed to do it, it seems like you are according to the press, Jump City Press, it seems like you're already in favor of doing it. Most of you are anyway, about making it 10% increase rather than 30% increase. I have a recommendation for the commission, and sometimes it's not always about taxing people to raise money. Sometimes you got to cut costs. A lot of you have been in business and are in business, you know what it is. You have to cut costs. Got an idea for you, maybe you can put it into practice. Why not incentivize some of the employees of the town, come up with thoughts, ideas, how to cut expenses, cut costs. Give them a bonus to do it. Somebody gives you $1,000, $100,000 savings, pay them $5,000, $10,000. Works for everybody, works for everybody in here, works for you, works for the employer who does it, because they get a bonus. I don't know if that's something that's ever been considered. You have to track it. If you do it, it works. I can tell you it works. I've done it and it works. This is thought, something is an idea for you to do in an effort to help you maybe practice a little bit more of that so-called fiscal responsibility that you're in trust with. Increase in taxes is not always the answer. Sometimes you gotta look inside and see where you can cut your expenses. Got another thought for you too. Everybody, commissioners pay salary, I understand, I believe you all pay salary. Some kind, not a great salary, but you all pay a salary. Y'all can set the example and lead the way. Sacrifice your salaries for a couple of years. Get that cost saving thing down. That would be a strong move. To get more people looking at you more favorably when it comes to tax increases. And then maybe leading the rest of the county into find ways to cut costs on an incentive type basis, rather than just turning around and say, hey, let's just raise it. That's what we always do, but let's just do it again. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Not now. Sometime down the road maybe, but not now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Frank. All right. Next speaker is Todd Kinsey. Todd, if you will come forward, give your address to the clerk.
$299 Armstrong Hill Road.
You can go ahead, Tom.
Okay. Now, I know you don't want to talk about the budget, so I'll move that be. The tax increase basically add an extra 30 cents to people like me, disabled, isn't helping me. I don't get to use the amenities of pickleball courts and all that other stuff. The neighborhoods, the people that want this stuff should pay for it to be done by the HOAs in their neighborhoods, not through county tax. I mean, that's just part of it. Not everybody wants to play pickleball. I'm a member of the senior center. They got pickleball courts there. I can't play it. I got to get a hip replacement. You know, it's 30-cent hike on somebody that's getting just over $1,000 a month. When other people are getting raises out of it, doesn't seem right. It's not right to the people, all these people on Social Security disability. It's not fair to us. We're not getting a raise. Now it's, you gotta look at people. Okay. You got a 20-acre farm. You break that 20-acre farm up into quarter-acre lots and build homes on 20 acres. How many quarter-acre lots you gonna get? How many more people are paying property taxes because of that? A lot. And you're saying everybody that's lived here all their lives has to pay more taxes because more people want to move here? What's up with that? Why should we pay more because more people want to live like us? Thank you.
Thanks. Marcy, you will come forward, Marcy, to the podium and give your address to the clerk.
Hi, I'm Marcy Hawley, 114 East Woodrow Avenue, Jonesboro. I don't envy you. It's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You've got tough decisions to make, and it's way beyond my pay grade. I would like you to consider, though, in making your decisions, the libraries. The libraries in Jonesboro and Washington County play an immense part for people that don't have everything that we all have. Computers. They have children. The library furnishes children's activities. How many things do we have in this county that are geared to teenagers? Not much, not much. But the library does. And it's year round. I'm in agreement that every employee in this county and town needs a raise. We have wonderful employees, they're dedicated. And if they don't bring the salaries up, we're gonna lose them. So, in the long list of everything we need, fire protection, police protection, EMS, new water lines, new infrastructure. These are all difficult decisions, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hall. Molly Smolko? Is that close, Molly? No, thank you. You'll give your address to the clerk, Molly.
1801 Colonial Ridge Road. I look at the budget in the newspaper and see that we're raising the proposed revenue by $18 million. I don't know whether that's the 1.71 rate or the 1.40 rate. So it just seems if you're expecting $18 million more coming in, that you should consider where that money is going. I've always had a concern about the Education Capital Project Fund. I thought that was supposed to be for building schools, not putting up lights at a football field or building a football field or grading for something new. And even that, you have lowered that by 3.3 million for the proposed budget. So you obviously don't have too many projects planned for this coming year. But I don't see anywhere where you're going to lower the Johnson City residents who paid taxes for this capital fund. I refer to it as a capital slush fund. So you're making no additions or no adjustments for that. And I wish you consider that when you're thinking about raising everybody else's taxes. You seem to take advantage of the new residents' ability to have all that free cash in their hands since they're coming from states with much larger property taxes. And you're taking it out on us because of the appraisals. I know that's not the subject, but because you've got somebody with a $185,000 house willing to pay $500,000, that's more money in your pockets, but it's also taking money away from ours. Thank you.
Next speaker, Ms. Ford. If you come forward to the podium to give your address to the clerk, please.
Yes, my name is Tammy Corey. I live at 1905 Highway 81 South, Jonesboro. Thank you all for letting me speak. You all probably know me very well. I attended all the budget meetings and a lot of the commission meetings as well. The reason being is I love Washington County, I love Jonesboro, and so do a lot of other people that are living here now. They've held their secret. But we're having to pay for that, and we're having to pay catch up, as I've already said at one of the other meetings. I would like to ask that our commission consider when we have meetings, when we have commission meetings, and when we have committee meetings that have, the committee meetings have 4 commissioners on the committee meetings. I wish that we would once again print something in the newspaper, put it online or something, and go into detail about what transpired in each of those meetings, so more of the public would also know what's going on. I know they used to do that years ago, and I'm not sure why they quit doing that. I know we do things online now, but a lot of people do not do things online, but they do get the newspaper. The last thing I would like to bring up is I want to echo what I've had several people in our community say to me when I have asked them about their tax appraisals. They've asked that our commission be transparent 100%. And I think that's very important. And by going to the meetings that I have attended, I feel like we've had some commissioners that have tried to do the right thing, and I appreciate that very much.
Thanks, Cameron. Our next speaker is Joe McQueen. Joe, if you'll come forward, give your address to the clerk, please.
Three 17 Mount Zion Church Road. Ladies and gentlemen, the tax assessment just was raised. And I understand that the taxes in this county, the assessments of property went up because the price of properties went up. Okay, that's simple math. But then you come right behind it, that's a lot of money coming into this county. A lot of houses are being built, a lot of apartments are being built, a lot of farms are being sold. And the project's right now, and they're going. But you come right behind it, and then we'll raise the taxes. Why? Would you run your home that way? Because it's just human nature. The more you got to spend, the more you will spend. And I think we need to govern our county like we govern our own homes. Look where we're spending money, look where we don't need to spend money, and look at some of our assets and use them. We are in the county seat right here. We have 2 good school buildings right now sitting empty that we could use for being offices for county employees. I don't know how many, if any, county offices are being leased or rented per month for our workers to work out of. We've got paid for buildings for the work out of it. And that money could also be brought back into the county and used as it seems fit. And that's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Joe. Next speaker, please, again. If you'll come forward to the podium, please. And give your address to the clerk.
My address is 189 Knuckles Drive, Jonesboro, Tennessee, and my name is Jason Dean. I really appreciate you all providing this forum for us today to come and talk about this tax increase. If I'm going to be really honest, it's really outrageous that we're even here talking about this, that we're really talking about putting this burden on people. They're suffering. They can't afford groceries. Has anybody been to the grocery store lately? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Our grocery bill for our family, our small family of four, has almost doubled. So we're having to cut stuff out. We're not doing things we used to do. We've had to cut out streaming services, the little nice things that my kids like at the grocery store. We can't afford it anymore. We can't. And we're already going to have to pay for this assessment, which I know you guys can't fix for us, but that's extreme. And that's going to put real hurt on people. Whether you own or rent, this is going to impact all of us. And I can guarantee you that the folks out here, the folks at home that probably don't even know this hearing is going on today, when they find out, it's not going to be great. And they're not going to know, like I don't know, how we're going to pay for those things at home, because we're not getting an increase on our pay to take care of all these increases that are coming our way. And it's hard. It's hard to raise a family here, and we love this area. We love Jonesboro. I moved here from Virginia years ago, and we fell in love with the place, and we've been here 2 decades now. But my gosh, if this continues, I just don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know how other families are doing it. Everybody is hurting, and this is the wrong increase at the wrong time for people. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Next speaker is Ron Bowers. Ron, you'll come forward to the podium and give your address to the clerk.
My name is Jerome Bowers. I live at 177 Highway 81 North. I know I've met most of you all in this room. I've been living in Washington County for over 23 years, in Carter County before then. I just want to start with, I don't have the answers for you with the tax increase. You know, like most people, I don't like paying more in taxes, but I also understand in Washington County, we do have a nice quality of life. And that quality of life is paid for by the taxes. My kids attend school here. I enjoy the new schools that they're going to. I also know that the new schools are almost at full capacity, and they just opened up this year. With the large amount of people moving to this area, we are going to need more schools. And that costs money, which is the one reason for the taxes also. I also speak tonight, just the library is a very important part of the community, and I think it's often overlooked at what the library does for the community. And I would enjoy some of this tax increase going towards the library. Just a little bit of information so everybody knows that their tax dollars are being well spent. The Washington County library system operates on a return on investment of $35 for every dollar the county spends on it. That is including over 400 programs per year. They average over 690 individual items being checked out daily, with a footprint of over 306 people coming in and out of the library on average a day. That is a huge number. That's a huge amount of the community using the library and its services, from free Wi-Fi to free internet access, computers being checked out, educational materials, getting jobs, getting job skills. I think that's very important to invest into those particular community give backs that the library provides. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerome. Our next speaker is Richard Griffin. Richard, you'll come forward to the podium. Give your address to the clerk, please.
Richard Griffin, 301 East Main Street, Johnson City. I'm also the Washington County Library Director. I had this nice little speech all written out ready to go tonight, and from listening to everybody talk tonight, I realize what a real decision this is going to have to be. Of course, I am a librarian, so I support the library. The mission of the library is to help every citizen of this county, no matter what the economic level is, education level is. And I think we do a pretty decent job at that. With the proposed move to the new Gray location, I think we will be able to do that much more efficiently. I can quote statistics all day long. I don't know how much that would mean to everybody, but there are people that you need the library and use the library frequently, we would like to be able to continue to do that. So I ask you to also, when you're debating your decision that you're gonna have to make, which will be very difficult, I certainly understand, because my taxes are going up as well. Also, you remember that there are places like the library which can make a definite assist to people in need. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Richard. Our next speaker is Robert Steen. Robert, if you will come forward to the podium, please, and give your address as well. Right here's Clark Crawford.
Oh, there you go.
You can just tell her.
242 Old State Road. If you want to say it's Gray or Johnson City, whatever. I just want to bring this back. I know that this particular gathering probably isn't where I should be on this because everybody's pointing to the state. It's the state's fault. It's that person's fault. But this is what's happened. For me personally, if it goes to 1.7 after the increase that was put in, I will only be paying 12% more in property tax than a lot of other people. Another friend of mine that lives in Gray has been here since 14. They're going to pay 45% more. And I don't know how you figured that is fair. Now, it may not be this body's, you know, because you're just talking about what you're going to spend the money on. No, it's how you arrive at that. It's the problem. I paid at the high end. I moved here in 19. So I paid at the high end. I didn't even dicker. Whatever they wanted, I paid. So I'm your problem. Partially. So I should pay the higher rate because I see the property exists. What you're doing is you're going to somebody that's paid $100,000 for a place. Now it's $400,000. And you're saying that they should triple and quadruple their taxes. Are you kidding me? That isn't the way you should do business. And then everybody points somewhere else. So I don't know if you're actually the body where I need to go or who I need to talk to. But this is ridiculous. This happened in the state I left. And it's happening right here, Tennessee. Where do I go from here? You can't tax somebody on a perceived, just because Zillow says it's $500,000. Well, I don't have that money in my pocket. How do I pay you if I don't have the money? I gotta sell it. And then you find out it's only worth more. So I sent information out on how the state that I was in before, and I don't want to say it because I never will throw tomatoes at me, but the bottom line is they actually came to an equitable situation in this, because if I move in and I pay more, I should pay a higher tax. If I've been here for 40 years and I'm struggling just to get along, I shouldn't be paying that. So it has to be on the assessed side of things. Market value is going to go up and down, up and down. Assessed value, no. We assessed you at this because that's what you paid for it. And now we have a calculation. They chose 2% a year, whatever you decide to do. Now, if that's at the state, then we need to go to Nashville and straighten them out because this is ridiculous. And yeah, I get it. You'll blame me because I paid more for a house, but the builder made more money. He was happy. Everybody's happy, except for the people that have been here forever. And I don't know how to place it, but this probably isn't the body. So you're saying, when is this next meeting you have that's talking about assessment?
There's an appeal process for assessments.
No, on how we arrive at that, because this is really the crux of it.
That would be something the property assessor would have to talk about. But I don't want to
get a hold of Rob.
I don't want to take any of your time.
And I don't want to kill yours either. Anyway, just think about it. I would suggest you leave everything the way it is, which is 1.4071. Until you figure out how to arrange the rest of it.
All right. Richard Thomas, will be our next speaker. Richard, you will give your address to the clerk, please.
140 Horseshoe Bend Drive. I've spent a lot of time looking at this, many hours on the phone. And to answer the question, it's not this group here, and it's not the county tax assessor. He's just following the rules set by the state. We have been flooded with people who bought between 250 and 3 and raised the price, and they went to bid wars and got up to 4. Then they started building. Okay, people have been destroyed. I know everybody needs money. I saw where the using 58% more gas for the police. But the fact of the matter is, you can't be buying buildings. Remember, this is going on. I don't feel any better paying my taxes in a big building than an old building. I think nobody else does. But you know, we need something in the community. I heard you were going to sell the school property. People still practice ball up there. A lot of people walk. We got a gymnasium up there. What would it cost to build that back? I don't get a grant and make something for our kids. Why don't we extend the hours that we get in the library so the kids can study? Because a lot of people ain't going to have the money to pay for the internet. We got some problems, and growth is it. But the gentleman from California said it the best I've ever heard. It's got to be evened out so you don't destroy the people here. By the way, it's not hurting me that bad. But I talked to a lady yesterday, and she said her appraisal went from 300 to 650. And then she paid $400 for the appraisal to appeal. And after that, it was $450. Wasn't that about the price of taxes? Is that the way you want to do it? Have to spend money on an appraisal? You need to get the board and everybody behind our children in this community. We need places for them to work besides Stonewall. This building out there should have a business video to promote this community, not all big dollar. Thank you.
Which speakers are you? You will come forward to the podium. Give your address to the clerk.
Ernest McKinney Jr., 119 North Lincoln Avenue, Jonesboro. Taxes, death and taxes. That's what they say, death and taxes. My suggestion would be to plan for the future. You want folks in here and they come and you put them on horse and buggy roads. They've got to figure out what their infrastructure is going to look like, but we charge them more than they should just because people are coming in. I think the point about that, death and taxes is going to be with us. My suggestion would be to plan for the future and don't nickel and dime us. Plan for the future. If you're expecting people to move in, fix it up so they can be here. The high school, I was the last class out of Jonesboro High. Why are we selling it? You can make a boys and girls club. You've got everything you need. You don't have to go rent space. It's already there. The elementary school is already there. You've got a lot with that. But we're looking at the dollars. You don't need to sell it, just fix it up. Enhance people's way of life here. That's what should happen. Not down the road, or when it happens, well, we'll push it off, we'll push it off, we'll push it off. The thing about that is when you push it off, it's gonna cost you more. If you do it today, it'll be cheaper than doing it tomorrow, I guarantee you, because somebody will be sitting out trying to make an extra dollar off of it. So just take care of what we have. We're blessed here. I grew up here. And I'm back here. And I've been through some stuff that folks probably wouldn't want to see, but just plan for the future. If that's what it takes, plan for the future. So that way,
the people who've been here, the taxpayers who've been here, do not have to come out of their pocket again and again and again and again. Your population is aging. So we're gonna charge our children and our children's children to take care of us when we left it worse than we got here. That's all I'm saying. Just plan for the future. Plan for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Cheryl Miller. Cheryl, if you'll come forward to the podium, give the clerk your address, please.
I'm Cheryl Milner, and my address is 271 Maple Swamp Road, Chuckey. And I'm just really reiterating exactly what everyone else has said. The burden of this increase at this time is almost beyond our ability to pay. We're a senior retired couple on fixed income. My Social Security cost of living raise came to $43. That doesn't cover the cost of one bag of dog food at my house. The water bill goes up, the groceries are going up, the light bills are going up, the tax assessment doubled our property value, and now this increase. It is more than we have the ability to pay. And at our age, we can't get a job to supplement, to be able to cover these costs that are everywhere except our cost of living. So it's simply something that the burden that's being put on not just senior residents, but residents across Washington County. At this time, in this world that we're living in, it's not the way to go. We can't pay that. So I don't know how you all can come up with the money you need, but it doesn't need to be on the backs by the residents of Washington County. Thank you.
All right, Steve. Next speaker, you'll come forward to the podium, please. Give your address to the clerk.
What'd you say?
Bob Archer. Bob, if you'll give your address to the clerk, please.
I'm having a hard time hearing back then anyway. Well, like I said, I can hear everything that's said here, and I don't know, some of the facts they pointed out. So I may be repeating, something that they said. I'm a city dweller. I don't think there's that many here. So I'll just dig into this. I am appalled at the appraisals themselves. They are excessive. And being excessive, I feel like they're wrong. No matter what metrics that the assessor uses to come out with these appraisals, I don't know, they just don't seem right. And so I've heard the horror stories of people's rates or appraisals going up 100% or so on really not modern homes. 100,000, 200,000. What's happening there is that I'm afraid, and I think some people mentioned, I'm afraid that we're creating down the road some negative aspects of Washington County, what things are going to happen. And a couple that was probably looking at that $200,000 house they wanted to get a loan on could be $400,000. They can't touch it. Younger people or people wanting to buy a house, they're priced out of the market. Seems to me like the only people going to be able to buy a house are these rich people come from New York, California, whatever, got money in their pocket. They can buy or build a house here for half or less than what they sold theirs for up there. And they're the only ones going to be able to buy a house. So I ran a little scenario there, and Mr. Brandy, I took your example that you quoted to WJHL about a week ago. House that went from 178.5
to 300,000. You said, well, if it was appraised at 68%, just the $1.40 rate or 41 would net $95. Okay, then the 21-cent increase would bring in another 225. Well, that's 320,000, or excuse me, $320 total increase. You are correct on what you said. But big kicker here on city dwellers, you're giving a windfall to the city people here to collect taxes. They will collect about double of what you suggested. And that's going to hurt. And I ran another scenario, and something a little more palatable, I think, not all satisfactory, but I ran a scenario that if you had taken that 68% and
Mr. Archer, your time's expired.
One point, just one point, and I'm not be done.
If you objection to one more point, we need to vote on it.
I'll be done after.
I'll allow you another minute.
Well, I won't even take that. Ran another scenario that if you took half of that 68%, made it 34%, and if you left the tax rate current 215 per hundred, you could have collected the same amount as what you was quoting to WJHL about a week or so ago, $320-some. So and that would drop the appraisal. Well, I've been down to 34%. That's still not likable, but it's more palatable than a 68%. And with all the other appraisals, even more so than that, the house I lived in went up 74%. That house can't be sold for what it's appraised at. And a lot of people said that. So I just wanted to leave that with you. And to me, I wish you'd go back to the drawing board. Whole hog. Thanks.
Thank you, George. All right, next witness, Arthur Booth. Is it Booth? 573 Berry Ridge. Arthur. All right, I'll call it one more time. Arthur Booth. 573 Berry Ridge. We're here to speak.
Alternative reason.
Arthur B. All, 573 Berry Ridge. All right. Move right on to Larry Jarnigan. Larry, if you'll come forward to the podium, please. Give your address to the clerk.
I'm Larry Jarnigan, and I live at 155 Laurel Canyon here in Johnson City. And I live in both the county and the city, so I get that double tax burden. And my property value has increased 72% according to this new appraisal that we have. And unlike previous people that said, I think there's something wrong with the appraisal, but you know, if there's not, I'm really happy that my property is worth that much more. But to have to increase my property, my thing is, I wish the county would do what the city did. They stuck with the same rate that the state suggested. They, you know, theirs went from 198 down to 135.45 41 or something like that. So if we, as a county, could stay with the 140.71, then it seems like I would still suffer an increase of 12.5% at that rate. Maybe some people's taxes might go down, I doubt it, but I would still suffer a 12.5% increase. If you stick me with a new 171 rate, it's gonna go to 36.5% over what I paid last year. And that's just, I'm a senior citizen. I hope to live another 10 or 15, 20 years maybe. And I plan to live in that same house. But at these kind of tax increases, it's gonna be the only way I can capitalize on my new great value is to sell it and move somewhere that has lower taxes. So anyway, that's all I can say.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Our next speaker is James Reed. James, you'll come forward to the podium, please. Give your address to the clerk.
James Reeves, 125 Indiana Drive, Great Tennessee. I'm just going to read this so I don't miss it. We all have personal reasons for what we do. Kickbacks, NDA agreements that nobody's allowed to talk about, working for the county, or the family members that work for the county, or profits from the decisions you make in this very room. I stand here as the main representative of the silent majority of Washington County, as I've been doing since defeating the wheel tax in 2008. I understand there are more than 8 votes in this room to prove this into next week. I just want to let you know, with all due respect, the tax increase is not needed or deserved. But just like no one on this board has ever taken the time to call or meet me over election results, I expect you will not listen to much of what I have to say. Last year, the general fund was increased by 18%. That covers some of the inflation that's been going on. Forget you did that? At least the debt service fund moved some money over. And this board handed out 2 substantial county raises over the past 2 years. This budget, if approved, will confiscate almost $17 million from citizens and businesses of Washington County. This budget calls for over $5 million to be placed in the capital project fund. I'll get to that in a minute. If not, capital project fund. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. I know you want to be cash. However, the current budget committee chair, who has held that post since the last tax increase, has added nearly $90 million to debt service and is overspent on most projects. It does not seem like we did a job as advertised over the past 8 years. My recommendation is to eliminate the capital projects fund and the school projects fund, also known as the slush funds. I place those millions of dollars back into the general fund and debt service is needed. Maybe as a county we can swing a $2. We can't swing a $2 raise for county employees and $1.50 for sheriff's employees, but we should have enough for something. Also, who thought it was a good idea to give the sheriff's employees less than the county employees? According to Mitch, the 4 commissioners on the budget committee knew it and approved it. I doubt they did. Everyone in this room has had to adjust for inflation. We ask you to tighten up the county belt. Please make a stand. Try to put personal ambitions aside and realize that many citizens under your government watch are already hurting financially and have already been burdened with a hefty appraisal tax increase. Please do not add to that burden. Do not let those in charge scare you into a quick vote. I've seen budgets approved past August in this county, so it doesn't matter. I could never find anyone to charge those in charge with the misdemeanor that carries if it is late. So if you go past the deadline, it's misdemeanor, but there's nobody that's going to give you the misdemeanor charge. It just isn't going to happen. Quoting C.B. Kinch, a former commissioner, a customer of mine, a very dear friend. Thanks for coming, Reeves. We're going to do what we're gonna do anyway. Lord willing, I'll see you next Thursday. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Jack. We appreciate each one of you coming this evening. That concludes our public hearing. We'll move the meeting back into regular session. Questions or discussion is, there is no motion, there's no resolution. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Davenport makes the motion. Second.
Lewis.
Oh, look. I got you, Lewis. All right. Goodness gracious. I never can see Lewis's hand because of his speaker, it called right in. All right, so we have a motion and second to adjourn. All in favor of that motion and second, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, we're adjourned.